Okay. Hello, welcome to another interesting episode on Trash It. Okay. The topic we're trashing today is quite a sad one, okay, because a lot of things have been happening on social media recently. And I think it's just got to the point where there's some issues that needs to be addressed. We've kind of talked about it on the show here and there before, but again, given the kind of show that we are, we do trending topics and we can't just not talk about it. Um, in the studio today, you should already know this. People, we've got Sade, we've got Jude, we've got Ade back after a few weeks, and we've got Talia back after a few weeks as well. So you guys must have seen the story that's been on Instagram, Facebook, and all social media platform about the BBN, um, one of the BBN housemates that passed away recently. His name is Rico Swavey, and he passed away, I think it was last week or the week before. And basically what happened was he had an accident and unfortunately he didn't make it. He went into hospital, he was rushed to hospital, and then you could see the video of nursing staff laughing and doing videos at him whilst he was slumped on a wheelchair. They weren't giving him any form of medical attention. They just left him there, basically, and they were doing videos and just doing whatever they felt like. Before, I think one of the nurses eventually came and said, oh, instead of you guys doing videos, we need to help him. Unfortunately, he eventually died from the injuries that he sustained. So now a lot of people have been saying that, apparently there was alcohol in his system. Allegedly, I don't know how true this is. I haven't read any medical reports or any postmortem reports. And people have been posting and saying, oh, who is to blame? Is it Rico, given that he had drunk alcohol and he was driving? And we all know that, don't drink and drive, basically. Every country preaches that. And also looking at the healthcare system in Nigeria, a lot of people were also saying, so yes, let's assume he was drinking and driving, but he got to the hospital and yet see the way he was treated. So is it the government that failed? Is it the hospital staff that failed? Or is it Rico himself that failed himself? So let me come to you, Talia. You're a nurse in the house. What is the effect when people drink and get behind the steering? How can that affect their visibility or their ability to be able to still have that capacity to drink and to drive and to make sure they don't have any accident? How does that affect them medically?
Um, Obviously, we all know that drinking and driving is it's a no-no, just drinking on a normal day, you don't even have to drink over your limit, but you can just have a little bit of alcohol in your system and it kind of alters, the way you see things, the way you reason. It gives you that, it can either give you a overreaction, so you can be maybe paranoid. Alcohol can do all sorts of things. It's definitely a thing in all countries that, you don't drink and drive. Regardless of whether he was drinking and driving, we can't say because we don't have the medical reports to say that, it's the alcohol that has contributed to his death. I think obviously if at the time of accident he had the best medical attention, he may have survived. Alcohol in your system, alcohol can, I don't even know how to put it in any terms, layman or medical terms, it's a no-no. You don't drink and drive because it alters your reaction to things. It can make you drowsy, it can make you sleepy, it can make you less conscious of things, and it can, on the other hand, make you too conscious of things. Some people drink or they have some sort of substance in their system and they overreact, while others, so alcohol can have a diverse reaction to any human being. Hence the reason why the governments in all countries have said no to drinking and driving. So that's just it.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Ade, let me come to you. You've seen the video. You sent some to me as well. You've seen the news. You've heard what everybody was saying. People had different opinions about, okay, who was to blame in this? When you look at it, where do you think the blame should lie? Does it lie with Rico? Because let's start from the beginning. If he had never drank, he would not have had an accident. But there are people who still don't drink, but they still end up in fatal accidents that they end up dying. So really and truly, who do you think is to blame in this scenario?
You can't put a blame to the driver that died
Mm.
because he might not have drank much, but his system could not handle what he's taking, right? It could be that alcohol, someone put something in it, anything could have happened. But the deep down issue is getting to the hospital, the time wasted, to get help to him while get to the hospital. That was a vital issue because every minute or every seconds that you're wasting away, right, creating more fatal damage internally. You never know what issue is having internally, why the delay. If they have attended to him early, he might have saved his life. Some doctor will say, if not for the 5 minutes earlier the people get to you, you will have been dead, gone. And I'm not sure the nurse was not to blame. It's the people who took him to the hospital, right? They were more the ones standing around and taking the video, or the porter.
That's what
you understand? Yeah, because the nurses could not do that. They would not stand around. No matter how worse it. The only worst situation in Nigeria is you go to a private hospital, they say bring money before they attend. That's it. But once they get you into the hospital, the nurses, they sprang into action in Nigeria.
But Adi, you could see the video where the nurses, he was in the wheelchair and he was just in the wheelchair. And you could see the nurses, one of them was doing the video that we all eventually saw. And then there was another one saying, instead of you guys to attend to him, you're doing. So how did they give him emergency?
So the nurse that we attend in the hospital is different from the one that is doing the video. But the one doing the video is not actually part of the nurse in that hospital. Trust me.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Because that will still
when
get
I
fired.
saw that video, I said there is no way any medical professional, I don't care your training or whatever, will stand around and watch that. Literally, I was arguing with my husband that no, those can't be nurses doing that video, because I could see the nurse saying, rather than we standing around, help me carry this person. Obviously, he wasn't when a body's unconscious, one person cannot carry that body. That body.
Well, he was in a wheelchair.
Heavy. Yeah, but she needed to carry him onto the stretcher. That's what I could. That's maybe because I worked in A&E before, so I was probably analyzing it from an A&E point of view and saying, well, even if a patient arrives on a wheelchair, I'm gonna need a hand to lift him onto the stretcher.
You know what will happen? The car that transports him there, I'm not sure what car, whether it's one of the Lagos State ambulance or whatever ambulance on the street they have. And those officials they have, they might end up being the one doing the video. Trust me. It's not going to be the nurse in that particular hospital doing the video, no.
I hope not. But then I heard that the nurses have been fired. The nurse that was doing the video, I heard that they've been fired.
Yeah, they're not going to be nurse from that hospital. Believe me.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen those roadside ambulance that Lagos State government provide. The people, some of them dress like nurses or paramilitary people.
Paramedics.
Or paramedic people, yeah. And those people, when they see you're a famous person, they want to pull out their video camera and start recording, just to take them and share with people to say, oh, this person was involved in this accident, and they were the first one to capture it.
Interesting. Okay, Shadi, let me come to you. You've heard what Talia and Ade have said, and they're saying that no, this when trained nurses, and no trained nurses or untrained nurses could pull such a stunt. I mean, knowing how Nigeria is, knowing how the healthcare system in Nigeria is a complete mess, do you truly believe that these weren't trained nurses? Do you truly believe that these were probably the paramedics or the cleaners standing around and trying to do a video?
Well, first thing first, he was drinking, driving, what have you, we don't know, yes or no, we don't know. Even if he was, that's not the issue. The issue is the aftercare he got when he was taken there. In the first place, he shouldn't even be kept on a wheelchair. He should be lying down flat. See that? It was not even sitting properly. And in most hospitals, let's not compare here with Nigeria, they're not supposed, they should say put off that phone. They wouldn't even let you. I've been to the GP where they'll tell me, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to use phones here, So that should be the signs everywhere. But we're talking about Nigeria here. We don't have good healthcare system. Everybody knows that. So no matter what time they brought in there, we don't even have paramedics. We don't have ambulances on the road. You understand? We have police officers. We have people that will collect and tax you every meter, every mile. But we won't have the most important thing that should help save a life. We will not have it in Nigeria. So I think it's something that the government should look into. It shouldn't be when a celebrity dies before we all talk about it. It's happened to each and every one of us. I'm sure we've all experienced it with a family friend or whatever back in Nigeria. So my issue is, of course, you cannot compare how we train nurses here with how they are trained in Nigeria. Even some of them, when they come here for the first time and they're doing support worker just to, maybe they're still in school, and you will even see. And then I've had experience with one, and she told me she was a nurse back home. I'm like, I can't believe that you're a nurse, because of the way she is. You know, I know they say a lot of people dying every day, so they are probably immune to it. But that was unacceptable. What they did, that was crap. That what they rightfully should have been sacked. You know, my issue is whether celebrity or not is something that the government or even all these rich people need to look into. You understand? Why is it so hard to get it?
So empathy.
Yeah, why? Healthcare. You know, we don't have good schools, we don't have good healthcare. Why? Those two important things. Why is it so hard to get it right in Nigeria I'm just upset about that. It could have been saved, we don't know. You know, it might have ended up being a vegetable, even if it had been brought in earlier or been treated right. But what we saw is a disgrace to us as a nation. I don't think it's a joke.
Right. Okay.
I'll say.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Shade. Jude, let me come to you. I mean, given that you're someone who has sort of felt firsthand of how bad the Nigerian healthcare system is. I mean, maybe we all have our stories here and there, but your story was very close to home. It was a very emotional one, and it was quite out there because you did a video that went viral when it happened. I think it was last year, or was it 2020, Jude? So what 2020, yeah, towards the end.
I can't remember again. I think it was 1 year this year. It was last year.
Yeah. So okay, so first of all, let me ask you a few questions about this, given that you felt it firsthand. Now, when something like that happens, because apart from all this, the nurses, they can't do this, they can't do that. Even when you eventually get a bed, they can just leave the person there and start making demands. And I've from Jude's story, I've heard that before. So Jude, why don't you, how does it feel as a family member of someone who is going through that situation? All you want is your family member to be well. And you have nurses or doctors who are demanding heaven and earth just to lift a finger.
Yeah, it is. The truth is, the Rico video or wherever, I'm not into any of this celebrity or wherever in Nigeria. I saw the video, I just could not look at it for 2 seconds. I deleted them all the time because it's not because of my own brother, what happened to him, that I first highlighted these issues in Nigeria. I did it when Dark Green died, and Dark Green died long time ago. I woke up to the news that Dark Green had gone out, had some drinks or drugs in his system, ran under a trailer, brought into the hospital. I woke up and saw the pictures and the videos, and I said to my wife, I said, God damn it, this guy ain't gonna last. He was abandoned on, if anybody can find those pictures, was abandoned on a very rusty bed. This was Dark Green, the best street battle rapper at the time. If that kind of famous person was treated that way, then the ordinary Nigerian had no chance. So I highlighted it then, I did something about it, and I said, we need to, as a country, start to discuss and have these conversations on how we want to build as a society around what are they described as a society that saves instead of extort people.
The slaughterhouse.
Then it's happened a couple of times, and that Green died, and they came out again, Nigerians, in their style of blaming people instead of pointing fingers at themselves, came out and say he had drugs and alcohol in the system. Drugs and alcohol doesn't matter. The fact that there's a ban on drug, alcohol to some certain limit before you drive doesn't mean you shouldn't drink and drive. There's a limit. But we're talking about the aftercare of that. That's why we have laws. Nigeria is not a country yet. I still say that. We're not a society yet. We're not civilized yet because we've never had that conversation about how to build a society. If we've ever had it, we would have these institutions that save instead of blame. Now, coming to the question you asked, my brother's own is the same. What happened was, it's just messed up, you know. I have videos that I cannot even open to watch tomorrow because I knew it was going to happen and I asked them to just video everything. I have videos of how unprofessional the nurses, the doctors were, the cardiologists, the guys who call themselves radiologists, from the top to the bottom, according to Buhari. Everyone was so unprofessional. I questioned why they would allow people just troop into the room like that. Those people, paramedics, you hand over your patient. That's it. Your business is done. You hand over the notes, say what you want to say. I've been in the healthcare for long. But these things happen time and time. I also query when people come down at the airport, there's crowd by the plane. I ask how. It is unruly. It's very uncivilized of us. I've never done this so I can point finger. I was in Nigeria before I left only 20 years ago. So I know it's bad. Not all of us are idiots, but it is bad. But we do accept it and then blame people like Rico. The system is poor. We're not civilized at all. My brother got ill. I didn't find out until 7. By the time my father called the wife, he was still in the taxi. What do you guys want? They've been running around the hospitals in Lagos. It was at that time when the queue was so long when people were sleeping on the floor. So I get it. We finally got to Louvre. They said the room is there. We paid 300,000. That's fine. We paid. Now there Wahala start. They couldn't get professionals to get him through the lift. It was the taxi driver and the wife who dragged him up the lift to the room. Before they could get anyone to come attend, it was Wahala. The so-called guy who came the next day called himself the number 1 in the hospital. He was half drunk. Let's not even be talking. Oh my gosh. And like they rightly pointed, those guys wearing those uniforms, they probably just be street porters there. They just got cleaners wearing those uniforms coming to clean the guy, and no proper medical people attended to him. The only time they attended was when they needed money. We need to do this. You need to see when they took him to the x-ray room. My heart sunk when my brother videoed that thing. He had it on video, live video. My heart sunk. That place is so, I don't know how you call it. I don't know the language you use. It's so pristine that foreign bodies shouldn't be in there, except the person who's meant to. Even the person outside reading the graph, they don't go in there.
No.
They instruct you by speakers how you get in. Yeah. I'm telling you, more than 6 people our people were in there.
In that radiation.
Yeah, they were the ones putting in the machine. The nurses and doctors were like, my younger brother was saying, I will slap you guys here now. If my heart sunk, I was like, Henry, please don't slap nobody. Why are you in that room? First of all, this is Lagos University teachers are one of the so-called elite hospitals where they train all of the quacks they send abroad. But long story short, I pulled out what I pulled out there. They spend more energy cursing me than fixing things. And again, it went to the blame game. Yes, my brother was in the hospital. Immediately, we got to his doctor in Rome. Can you forward us everything about his health so that they have a up-to-date and this thing? I regret why we did that. Those guys just used that and put it on the internet saying he had all of these comorbidities. And so idiot doctor actually told me, he sent me a letter saying, Nigerians in Italy use drugs. They could have been using drugs. My brother's never smoked.
I'm so sorry, Jude. I need to get this part. You said you requested for his medical records and they put it on the internet.
Oh, it's on Twitter. It's on every social media. The chief medical officer, the big man in Luth, was attacking me on the internet. I just laughed over everything. NMC is just a useless body. I got in touch with all of them. My brother, I don't know if you guys know him, Mossad director, used to be the editor of Newswatch during the Delegiwa days. He is quite big. He's a lawyer and everything. He was mad. Other lawyers were mad. They took up the case. They fought and fought. His own guy from NMC told him, you're fighting a lost battle. Just forget. Police were even calling us to arrest my brother's wife.
Wow.
They were using police. Yes, the chief medical officer, from Luth he had the police to be on my brother's wife. Somebody who's just
lost her husband. For what though? Because her husband was sick.
Because I've done the video that I did.
Oh my God.
So in a nutshell, it's not about my brother, it's Rico and the system. The system is not there, and it's a shame that it's happened to this dude. But actually, he's a nobody too in the society.
Yeah.
And even if this happened to Buhari's son, nothing will still change.
Yeah, but this won't happen to Buhari's son, though.
That's why it was happening to him, and it flew him abroad when he had his accident.
They flew him abroad, exactly.
Yeah, And the thing that shames me more is people coming out to say, this is elite hospital, it's a private hospital. No, they can't do that. The private hospital in Nigeria is what? It's quack, man.
Is
The
what?
guys are not there. They move
Is
from
what?
place to place. They're not always there.
It's just a part-time job they're doing, so they appear like
It's what it is. It's what it is. When my brother was, his situation became dire, they needed a signature to transfer into the next hospital. I think one of the Reddington, we finally got in touch with them. I sent money over. They were going to, the 2 ambulances were there, and that guy never arrived. They told me he would come. They've already radioed or done wherever from 3 a.m. Wow. The guy never arrived until the next day, May 16, about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, when they certified him dead. He kept saying, I'm on my way. I'm on my next thing. Rain, there's rain falling in Lagos. I can't move. A doctor.
Wow.
And the 2 ambulances said, we're already here. You must pay as well. Look, let's not hide behind anything. I don't know anybody on this platform who's got people who've got hospitals. They're very unprofessional. Yeah. Not because we're here now. They are very head to bottom. Simple as that.
I think it's a lack of value for life.
My dad's
Thank you. There's that one.
Lack of accountability, because they can't be held responsible.
There's that one. And we don't have care. We don't have care in the whole system does not have care for anybody. It's pathetic.
Even the people, I remember, like, my sister and her husband had to come out of, because we had to immediately move my dad. I have similar experience that you had, Jude. Ours was even very bad. It's Afe Babalola. We actually called them out 4 years ago. But my issue is when we got to Ibadan, almost Lagos, right? Because another thing is, to fly him down was another ridiculous amount of money that they were going to charge this hospital in Ikoyi, where that's the only place that have this, what do you call it, cardiologist or whatever. Yeah. So that's the person that could help him. Well, my sister had to, I was weeping when I saw the video. She had to come down of the ambulance with my dad and a car and beg people to move out of the way, that there's actually someone in the ambulance that needs to get to Lagos on time. They weren't moving their cars. And this is because it's been abused. They are aware that people just put on the ambulance light. So they didn't believe it. She was practically crying and saying, it's my dad. He's dying if I don't take him. And that's when I knew my dad would make it. Because the journey from Ado-Ekiti to was like the same journey, 2.5 hours from that point to even get to Bega. So the system is rotten, is bad. So and then the thing that gets me, that has been irritating me all week, is the new thing of everybody must video, right? I don't think they make money off it. Everybody wants to get the best video to sell. This one is just to blow up the internet with, like, there's no feelings anymore that this is someone else's father or brother or, or husband. Everyone just wants to video, and then this graphic things that shouldn't even be put on the internet is thrown about.
Yeah, I just told, forget about ordinary people videoing. There's no idea about what data protection is. The chief medical officer of the Luth was the one who pasted everything on the internet.
That's why I was shocked when you said that.
One other guy did it. One other guy pasted it on Facebook, and I saw his name is a doctor. So I searched his name. I saw it on LinkedIn, and I just only sent him a line. You're on LinkedIn. I'm going to let them know this is what you did. And he deleted everything. I'm like, so you understand the implications of what you did, and yet you did it? My brother was a nobody, but thank God for the video that went viral, and they saw it everywhere. Let's just forget. We pray. Video. I pray it doesn't happen to everyone. And I'm pretty sure, like Celia said, every one of us, we have a story. Yeah. The conversations, we need to have this conversation, not because it's affected us, because we want to live like humans. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see another person on the street be treated like that, whether they have money or not. It doesn't matter. These people, the so-called oath, as well as a doctor or as nurses, they don't even keep to that.
Nonsense.
Those guys are videoing, but you should still be doing your work. Like Shade said, it was just on witches fraud like that. It should have been on a gunny.
Yes.
First of all, where's the gunny? Where was the gunny? Nowhere. It was on a witch like that. Come on, man. There was no single care. So I'm not blaming nurses whether it was them videoing, but come on, they didn't show any care at all.
There was actually a gunny right next to him.
Exactly.
Right next to him.
Oh my God! Look, it's sorry that he happened to him, man. But
the
it happened to
other
countless
thing is,
Nigerians who don't know. Yeah.
if they have enough manpower to move him to the bed, you know, some hospitals don't even have enough facilities to look after people. You know, you have to wonder why Deputy Senate President is bringing someone to UK
Exactly.
to harvest organ to treat someone. He could have used his head to understand the law of where he's going.
Yes.
And then fly the doctor to Nigeria. But where is he going to fly the expert when there's no equipment to do it?
Exactly.
The thing is, just pray that when you're in Nigeria, you don't involve in accident.
I tell you.
That's what I tell people.
I tell you.
One, the three things I get worried about when I go to Nigeria is mosquito, which is malaria. I've never had it. And the way people talk about it is one thing I never want to have. Armed robber, I've never experienced them. My friend experienced them with his wife. They beat the hell out of them. Right? Yeah, I don't want to. And then accident on the street.
Yes.
Oh God, I don't. Because first, you might have the money in the bank. You might have the money in your apartment.
Yes.
When they take you somewhere, they will say they want the people taking you don't even know you.
Don't even know you don't have that.
And people will drag you out of any vehicle anyhow. They damage you more. You understand? There's no training. There's no way you can call ambulance. There's no way you can call fire brigade. If you go to Lagos alone, it will take fire brigade 3 hours to get to you.
Yes.
You understand? So, and then I've experienced where I was in a car and I told my driver, I had an ambulance from behind, and I told my driver to move out the way. And could you believe a person behind me just moving in that space? Then I turned and I said to them, I said, are you crazy? The ambulance is behind you. She goes, you are crazy too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the guy driving me say, oh, God, no worry about them. They know will come out too. I said, but the guy driving me say, oh, Ghana, lie and lie. You don't know what I said, listen, no matter what is there, they could be carrying blood, whatever. Let them go, right? Get to where they go. It's ambulance. You just have to obey the ambulance. Forget about what is inside the ambulance. But Nigerian driver, ordinary people, they have accepted that no, it's all lie, you know? And because you have politicians, everyone using siren, so nobody seems to care no more.
Yeah.
You know, Fashola tried to stop the siren.
He did.
Then the people behind him brought it back.
Yeah, he did.
You know, so we're going to be back to square one until they change a lot of things. And believe me, all the politicians in Nigeria that make decisions, they don't get treated in Nigeria. So, they fly out. Atiku collapsed 2 days on Monday. He was out straight away, right? He wasn't that anything failed, but he was exhausted, fatigued from the going up and down for campaign. You know, him and Tinubu cannot do 24 hours campaign. They will collapse. Both of them will collapse. But the only thing they could do is, right now, none of them trust any FK in Nigeria.
Yeah, but all our good doctors have left. Go to your local hospitals in the UK. They are all there.
Everyone, the good one have left. And the one that are coming through the rank now, they use what they have to get a grade.
Exactly. They don't know nothing.
Yes, I met when my brother died, I met a young doctor. I don't know him from before, but I think he saw the video. You know, this secondary school in Nigeria, Celia, UDSS, you know, they're quite posh people. Yeah. So he saw it in the forum. When we met at the party, he was like, oh my gosh, it's you. We started talking. This guy's a doctor in this country, was trained here. Started from Nigeria anyway, but when he opened his mouth and started talking about how they use what they have to get, whatever, some of them are not even trained. I was really scared. And he said what Talia and Ade just said. He said, trust me, any doctor or nurse who decide to leave Nigeria is because they're good. Yes. They can't stay in the system and they've been brutalized in that system. He told me, he said, but he said there was no hope. Because they just quack people setting up things everywhere, running to become this, that, because it's not regulated. The NMC is so corrupt.
Yep.
NMC, and somebody's father died in their house. They threatened him.
What does the NMC in Nigeria stand for? Because
I think it's the Nigerian Medical Council.
Nigerian Medical Council.
Okay, because the NMC over here is the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So every time you say it, I'm like...
sorry, it's not your own.
In Nigeria, most of the doctor you see now, they're connected to a pharmacy, all right? Yes. And they will buy you with list of drugs to go and buy. People are buying drugs that does the same job. 3 different drugs doing the same job.
Yes.
Listen. And I said, why are they giving you these drugs? People don't even go online to research the drug they write for them. They've got this psychology mental issue that they believe that, oh, the drug is working. You know, where they're overdosing them with this drug. And that's the problem we have. And believe me, until the government put the right people in charge of ministry, don't bring someone because of political affiliation to be commissioner of health, minister of health. Yeah, don't bring a failure that didn't win election to be minister or commissioner. Until we put the right people in place, we're going to fail.
Spot on.
When is that going to be? Please,
Oh, it's never going to be. It's never going to be. Because believe me, you're looking at Atiku now.
At times.
I can guarantee you, Atiku is in Paris now. The 5 people around him, take a note of who they are. And if he wins, take a note of what they're going to get.
Dude, your best friend is there.
Who?
Dino.
Oh, oh yes. I think recently his house just flooded through the flood now, so good for him.
Oh, good.
Anyway, what I was going to say is our dear sister who died the other time, what was her name? Did nap that chair?
Yes, Akinyele.
Akin?
Is it Akinyele or whatever, that woman?
Yeah. What's her name now? Anyway, you guys know the
is
woman.
the Igbo woman now, Abi?
Yes. She did well in NAFDAC. She was supposed to have gone to help.
Doris.
They sent her to...
Doris.
Yeah?
Doris. She's Doris.
Yes.
Doris, that is.
Yes, and they sent her somewhere. So we do have, according to Tyler, to answer your question, we do have people who come through that were willing to really do something, but they will kill them. The person there right now,
yeah.
the person there right now is from Benin. Our current minister is from Benin. He's a rubbish person. He's actually my in-law. He's an absolute disaster. I've never heard, during the COVID time, he was nowhere to be found. You see, in societies that are saying...
what's that his name again?
He's related to the Akpata.
Ehanire, yes.
Yeah. So, you see, when societies are shocked with things like this, it sends shockwaves through and these institutions change. Nigerians, according to our day, we've been bastardized and brutalized. These things don't move us anymore. 25 Rico can die under one night. We don't go care. We'll continue the next one. Am I lying at day?
Of course.
No. So Rico,
that's Nigeria for you.
They don't care. They've moved on. If Whiskey go to Nigeria and mistakenly die there, they'll move on the next day. Trust me.
If I'll give you an example of people that live here, they build property there, they want to go and retire. But when the health issue comes, they come back.
Yes. Yes.
Loads
of them.
They come back.
Loads of them.
And all that what they build become redundant.
Yes.
Become worthless.
Exactly.
Because their children are not used to there. Their children are not going to go there.
Children won't go there.
If they try to fight relative that is holding onto the property, they'll finish the children as well.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Well, yeah, again, but
I remember a few years ago, I went to Nigeria and I became constipated, right? So I went to the hospital, and I went to the hospital to see the doctor for medication and all of that. So the doctor saw me and they said, okay, we'll just give you some medication that will help you. So the medication they were... Sorry?
Injection.
No, medication. They were going to give me...
That's what they do for everything. Everything is injection in Nigeria.
No, they said they'll give me some medication that will help me pass, that will open my bowels and whatnot. So I said, okay. So I went to the nurse's station and the lady handed me a bottle, one of those dark brown bottles, yeah? She handed it over to me and I said, okay, thank you. So I was looking at the bottle, yeah? This was just a bottle. There was no label on it to say, okay, this is your name, this is the name of the medication, and this is the expiry date, this is the dosage that you have to take. And the nurse just said to me, oh, just take 20 ml 4 times a day. So I said, okay. So
4 times.
4 times a day, 20 ml. So I was like, okay, but madam, what is the name of this medication? Because there's absolutely nothing on this bottle. It's just a bottle with some liquid inside. So how do I know what I'm taking? And she was like, oh, it's liquid paraffin. I was like, okay, but can you look at it and put the sticker on it so that I know that it's my medication and this is the dosage? The woman collected the bottle from me and she looked at it. She opened it and she said, oh, madam, sorry, no verse. Na quinine there inside, not be liquid paraffin. Yeah?
What did they give you quinine for?
I have no idea, right? So it was not
stomach cramp.
for constipation. They're giving me malaria, one of the strongest malaria medicines that you have out there. Okay. And she wanted me to take 20 ml 4 times a day. That's 80 ml a day.
God save your life.
So
I'll quickly say you one story, Celia.
Yeah.
You see why I'm really critical about Nigeria. I don't know we're peculiar. We're so different from every other blacks on earth. You guys would have seen, I think it's a recent scandal in Gambia when children died because they took some medicines that came from
Cough
India.
syrup, yeah.
Okay, it was only 20 children that died. And that's what things happen everywhere. America, people will die. England, it will happen. Germany will happen. But that shock waves through the system would then set up things to make so that we don't fall into that trap again. That's how systems grow. That's how societies grow. So no society actually is organic. We have to go through these phases. I was so happy for Gambia. Gambia saw, it's Gambia, right? Gambia saw that. Only 20 children. That's to tell you they have care in the system, and they love themselves. They said, no, hang on, something is not right here. They took those cough syrup, sent them to different labs. Obviously, probably they didn't trust their own lab because maybe corrupt elements there. They sent it abroad, and it came back and it was that same syrup killing them. Now that sends shockwaves all over the world. I tell you, if that was Nigeria, that cough syrup, none of them sample will leave Lagos or leave Benin.
No.
They're going to give them continuously.
They will destroy the sample.
Until
They
the
will
whole...
destroy, they'll collect money from the supplier, manufacturer.
Exactly. You will never hear about that again. And this is why I say our system, it's just different. I don't get it. Other systems, it sends shockwaves. Ours, we just consume the shockwaves and we walk on like there's nothing. We just move on with life. Rico is dead now. It can be. It's just crazy.
They're like
Do you
shock
think
absorbers.
so? Because I'm just thinking, and I'm thinking, what makes human beings so hardened to other human beings that there's no feeling? Is it poverty? Okay.
Well, there's poverty in Gambia. There's poverty in Gambia, though.
It's greed.
There's poverty in Gambia.
It's greed and selfishness. The
is
same
greed.
reason why
It's
two
greed
old
and selfishness.
pensioners want to be president of Nigeria when they know that you've been looking after their grandchildren,
Absolutely.
relaxing.
Why
It's greed and
wickedness too.
I say poverty is sometimes there will be an accident, and the first thing people will do is to steal from the dead.
Yeah, but that's wickedness. Is that not
That's not the reason why our system is not
wickedness?
moving. The reason why
That's
our system
wickedness.
is
That's
the
not
way it
poverty.
is greediness, selfishness.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's very bad. It's bad. Because they won't change you. Trust me. It's
the police station. The police will steal as well. So what are you saying?
It's why I always say that
So the police situation is different.
The people
Police
that robbed
situation-
me on Third Milan Bridge were wearing uniforms.
Yeah,
Wow.
police situation is different. Police situation is poverty.
That's the way
Situation of Nigeria is not poverty, it's greediness, corruption.
the system is messed up. I wish, like, I was just thinking about it, that if that money that Davido collected for his birthday is going to open one massive, clinic with good equipment. I mean, it could even get them for free with the
Yeah,
status.
but who will run it? Who will run it?
I mean,
Who manage
Who will manage it? It's the same people. Who will manage it?
Manage this thing. Now, look at that lady that brought cosmetic into Nigeria in those days that used to ship doctors come and do boobs and bomb. What's her name? Dupe something. We can get people like that in and then train our one or invest in medical schools or something. This can't continue.
But Davido is not even a good example because he drinks and uses drugs while he drives with that seatbelt. And I've said it so many times on his platform, people will curse me. But I say it's the truth. Wait until he dies before you will know I was telling you the truth.
Make me not die, you.
But no, I'm just saying because
But
we know we're praying for him now.
your wedding anniversary.
What's the difference between him and Rico? What's the difference between him and any other ordinary Nigerian who uses weed and no seatbelt and drives?
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, but you know what? I don't think the drinking and the weed, for me, that's not the issue. Because look at London, look at the United Kingdom.
Of course.
There's children that drink and drive, but at the end of the day, we have a system that works. So regardless of what you do, though.
Of course. But in Nigeria, it's different.
That's the issue with Nigeria. So Davido and the likes of them.
It's
so sad and it breaks my heart.
Don't drink and drive. You might kill somebody else. You might kill a whole family. Don't drink and drive, especially when you live in Nigeria. You know how it works there.
But the problem is,
I can tell you when I came to our house driving.
Okay, now we're focusing on drinking and driving. That's all we're focusing on. But that's not the only issue. What about the roads?
well, no, we've mentioned the
Because-
medical.
Exactly.
Because I remember my husband said to me when he saw the road, he was like, that road, yeah, at night, you cannot drive that road because you cannot see a thing.
Yes.
So
you
imagine somebody under the influence, unfortunately, is the issue is high.
Is the government.
That's
So
exactly.
what about the roads? And like,
That's
just
exactly what
nothing
happened
works
with
in that country.
That
So
green
whether
drove under
people
a
drink
trailer
and drive,
on a
because
dark road.
we have to understand that we have to give room for people to misbehave. So there will
Of course,
always
of
be
course,
that
of
one
course.
person that will
Of
drink and
course,
drive.
of course, of
There will
course,
always
of
be that
course.
one person that will be under the influence. But what
Of
have
course.
we put in place
Exactly.
so that when these things happen, we can manage it? There's just
Exactly.
nothing.
Is what Shade was saying earlier. How do we save? Because that's why we have it here. We know people will misbehave. It's why we have paramedics. It's why we have laws to
We have
protect people from
helicopters.
others.
Why
Otherwise,
you have to pay in dollars if you need a helicopter, a medical helicopter? I can't understand it. They wanted us to pay in dollars.
Nigerians, they be thiefy. I wanted to do a logo, and the foolish idiots wanted me to pay in pounds. How do I pay you that you're in Nigeria? Why? Nigerians are stupid, and it's just ridiculous how they come up with all these ridiculous things. How can you collect money in dollars for something that works in Nigeria? Something that you're doing in Nigeria? Like, are you
I think
because the
the
naira has
issue.
no value.
I think
Not my fault.
if we go back to everything, I always liked what Fela said, the suffering and smiling. It's why I really detest when anybody tell me we're the happiest people on earth. I say you are an idiot for saying that. We're not the happiest people. We're the most foolish people on earth, because if you're in that situation, you're happy, you're foolish. You know what I mean? That's not happiness. What is that? That makes you so docile that you can't question anything. You just take everything and that's it. Look, the banks are ripping us off in Nigeria. People are doing skits about it. That shouldn't be the case. You're doing skits and people are liking the skits. When you come out and say the real truth about these banks, they'll tell you don't touch my anointed because Elumelu is doing skits as well. You know what I mean? The people don't understand how system works.
No.
Don't understand that when you try to tell them, they say you're speaking big grammar. The engineers who are supposed to understand this, how systems work in Nigeria, they're all politicians today. They're no longer doing engineering work. They all want to make money because they're hungry. They can't be talking rulers and square roots and all of that every day of their life. So they don't understand how system work. They think everything is just, let's do skit and enjoy. Rico now has become a skit. Every Dick and Harry comedian is eating money from it. That's how we go. Nobody will query. None of these skit people have the brain or the intelligence enough to query the Minister for Health. Say, what are you doing to stop these things continue happening?
Yeah, but do you know what,
these people? Yeah.
I think I know a few of them that have actually spoken up, but nothing, it doesn't go nowhere.
Oh.
It doesn't go nowhere. All of them, they don't jackpot now. Even my 1-year-old knows how to say jackpot because we say it so much in the house. He's not saying jackpot. Like literally, like the other day I don't know what I was watching. This comedian Bovi. His children are now in England. All of them are leaving. Everybody that knows something has left Nigeria. So the thing is, when they speak up, where does it go? It doesn't go nowhere. The box stops there and there. It doesn't go anywhere else. So what's the point? Let them Kukuma use the skit to make money and
then we continue the shopping and smiling. And then let's tackle.
It is, isn't it? It is. Okay, so let me ask before I round up, let me ask everybody here. We're all drivers here. How many of you would drink and then drive, especially if you have your children in the back of the car? How many of you would go somewhere, go to a party, drink, and then get on the steering and drive? I don't drink alcohol, so I'm out of that. Sorry, Shay.
I don't drink drive.
Answer first.
Sorry?
But let Ade answer first.
Okay, Ade. So Talia has said she doesn't drink anyway. Ade,
I don't drink.
You drink it? You don't drink?
I'm not a drinker. You only see me drink occasionally. If I'm at home, I'll drink my
drink and drive.
Pink Moscato.
Oh, okay.
That's it. You never had that. I can't take any of those brown nonsense drink because I get scared of them.
Oh, yeah.
I can't go near whiskey or vodka. I think Sade begs I can take my Malta Guinness and I can take my Pink Moscato barefoot. That's it. Or you can see me take maybe a shot of Baileys with a lot of ice cube, and I'm done. Or if you give me, if there's a celebration of champagne, I'll put Red Bull with it. Or
at least on the long.
and it's one glass. I never get into.
For someone that doesn't drink.
You know?
Yeah. So, but are they drink and then get behind the steering, knowing that you are a bit intoxicated?
No, I don't see why people drink and drive. Really, it makes no sense.
No.
You know, it makes no sense. My own driving issue is speeding. When they say it's 40, 50 or whatever, that's the only thing I get. You know, and that's the reason why I'm going to get banned from driving next week.
You ticket, you're hiding your face.
Me, I'm terrible for speed. I can't I'm always in a hurry.
Bad drivers everywhere.
Right, Jude, let me come to you with that before I go to Sade.
You know, I don't drink drive. So if most times if I don't want to drink as well, and people invite me to a party, I deliberately drive so I can point the excuse why I'm not drinking. But most times I don't do that at all. If I want to drink, I do not drive.
Yeah.
I'll just go public transport and find my way back. But having said that, I continue to make the mistakes of allowing people who've had drinks and many drinks
drive you.
Yes. And I find myself saying to them, stop this thing you're doing. I'm in the car telling them, stop this thing, it's not good. It's like I'm supposed to be their conscience in the car, but it was only recently I started to realize that was actually me drinking and driving, because if it flipped and it would be the two of us.
I'll tell you guys a story.
I mean? So that I need to stop. But for me, I don't, because once I go anywhere, I drove to that place, that's it.
Not drinking.
I buy my whiskey at home. I just come sit down and drink. That's it.
Yeah.
Me. So everybody knows I like a good party, but if I have to,
calm down, boy. I can see.
If I go to a party, I don't drive, and that's why people can't understand. If you
must drink,
I would drink. I'm going
drink.
Excuse us. I'm going there to have fun, to relax, to chill out. I have a drink. I know that. Why can't if I'm not going to drink and party and have fun, why would I just stay in my house?
As a designated driver, I've driven in a car.
Yeah, but I am someone that doesn't drink, and that's what I know. Fun should have a friend that doesn't drink, but like
exactly.
So I have a friend that I know that I will get home, and she's a very good driver. So she's not me, but if she's
I was in a car,
then I will take a cab home. So I don't even drive very well at night. I hate driving at night.
Oh yeah.
So I would not even with my 6 cents, I would not even drive at night if you invite me. I drink too. I'm too early to go to heaven now. So, but I have a girlfriend that all you need to do is just keep her on ice and Coke, and she's fine. She's so.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I drink, so whenever we're going out, my husband always does the driving because he doesn't drink. So I drink, and I can drink, and he would do the driving. But let me tell you guys a story. So I keep saying to my husband, "Oh, you need to go out more. You need to go out with your friends. Go clubbing. Go da." So that's how they now invited him for one party one day. His friends now invited him. Now these two guys that invited him for this party, they're like Irish people, they drink and drink.
Typical.
They are functioning alcoholics, and they had this party in Essex, right? So obviously, anybody that knows where Essex is, and if you live on this side of the river, the Gravesend Kent area, you have to go through the tunnel, the Dartford tunnel. So my husband with this other guy, one of the Irish guys that drink, they went. So he picked my husband up, and they went to the party together. So they got to the party and they drank. My husband didn't drink, obviously, and it was the guy that was driving, and he was drunk. Even after drinking, he got behind us. He was so drunk, he got behind the steering anyway. My husband offered to drive, but he was like, "No worry, I beg you, I feel drive." There's something with men where they want to show that they can hold their alcohol.
They can cope.
Yeah. Even though when you see them, that men, you are drunk. But he was like, "No, I can hold my alcohol." That was how they got on the motorway, and this boy was all through. And my husband kept saying, "Wake up now, be careful now,
wow.
Stop this side now."
He was sleeping.
Yes, he was sleeping, and they were and luckily it was at night, so it wasn't too busy. But anyway, when he got home that day, he said to me, he was like, "Celia, I told you I didn't want to go. You said, oh, just go. That's how we would have had an accident, and God knows what would have happened, because this guy was drunk. I hope he gets home safe." Okay, so again, why am I saying this story? Because this is just an example. Anything could have happened that night. That guy has wife and children at home. My husband has wife and a son at home. So that could have been the end of the story. So after that day, when he tells me he doesn't want to go anywhere, I don't argue with him. I just say, okay, yes, don't go. And talking about
So did the guy get home safe?
Yeah, he did. But that was it. My husband never went out with him to say, oh, let's go, except he was driving by himself, you know. And talking about having experiences in Nigeria, I remember years ago, my uncle, my cousin, actually, he was going from Benin to Lagos, and he had an accident on the Benin-Lagos Expressway. Their car had a fatal accident, and they were all in the bush for like 2 days.
Oh, wow.
There was no ambulance. There was nothing. It was people who were driving past that now noticed that, oh, a car had somersaulted. And that was when they went to go and check if there were any survivors. And they found him, right? Some of the other people had died. And then they found him. And they managed to call an ambulance or whatever it was. But by the time he got to the hospital, he died because he had been there for about 2 days. Trying to get in touch with him. They couldn't get him. But he was just in the, so if he had been found on time, maybe
found earlier.
Yeah, I have 2 cousins who had gone into hospital to give birth, and they never made it out of the hospital. But they delivered the children, but they never made it out just because there was no blood, right? This is the same hospital they've been having antenatal, and they never bothered to check what their blood group was, or in case they needed, you know, blood or whatever. And the 2 of them died. One had twins. She gave birth to the twins. She lost a lot of blood, but that was when they were trying to get her vein so that they can test for her blood type. And she died.
Oh, it's so annoying. Those are like simple things here. That's the first thing. First thing on the first day of
there are also simple things in Nigeria. They don't just follow it.
They would even ask you to go and get card. Every time you go for antenatal, you have to pay some stupid card. I hear it's like 1,000 something or something, so some ridiculous thing. My file, when I had my first son, was still there for my second one, you know, and all my complaints, all my allergies, everything. The new consultants can see it. In Nigeria, they will find it. You know, it's just those little things.
When my brother's son happened, there's a guy in Abuja who said his wife and twins died in Abuja. Do you know, because there was no incubator at the hospital, they needed to put the twins in incubators. Guess how he transported the twins who they just gave birth to, who they just delivered, in a taxi, running around. That boy was mad. There's this other guy who follows Cubana chief priest a lot. You know, the Cubana chief priest, the barman. There's a guy who is his very close friend, who me and him are friends now through my brother's issue. His wife died like that, so that's how we became friends, because I highlighted those issues. That's the same way the wife died. He now is left to bring up the twins.
In Abuja, that everybody is
Abuja.
doing
I was
like
like, what? In Abuja? He said yes. There's nowhere it's safe in the country. He was transporting newborn twins on a taxi to the next hospital where they had incubators.
No, that's not new.
So they couldn't even bring the incubators to him.
No, that's not new. That my cousin.
It was new to me.
Dude, my cousin who was the chairman local government, Sule local government. His wife had twins. One of them died, right? Oh. They had twins in one hospital in Lagos, and there's no incubator. And they have to carry the twins themselves. And the journey, if the road was clear, shouldn't take them more than like 10-15 minutes. But he ended up taking them bloody
3 hours.
40-something minutes within Lagos Island. Okay. You understand? One of them died, right? The wife and the one that survived now, the girl is, they left Nigeria when the child was about 7. She's in America, she's in Canada now. She's about, I think about 11 or 10.
Wow.
Same age as my son. One died, twins.
When I heard that story,
because they had to cut. And I wonder, how do you carry them with all the dust that will get into their throat?
Newborn babies.
You know, there's no.
That's what I'm saying. Couldn't they transport the incubators to the hospital that needs it?
No, hospital, different hospital. Now you go carry yourself, go meet them there.
I think that's what I'm saying. The lack of conscience, the lack of just human love, just basic love that we just give out.
You know what? I should bring him into this just to ask him what happened. Because when he was telling me, but He's a politician, so I wasn't really. I feel sorry for his wife and the child.
Whoa, so the person we're talking about is a politician.
Chairman of a local government.
Yeah, but this is the problem now. Shebi said they chop the money inside. Hey, they chop the money. If he was doing the right thing.
He became the chairman after the baby died.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look,
I give him a pass.
It's just a shame Rico died for nothing.
Yeah.
Trust me. It won't change anything.
It won't change anything.
Nigeria is okay.
As long as the heads, the people that are governing the country, as long as they can afford to fly out for medical care, as long as they can afford to fly their children. I mean, I don't even think any of their children still are in Nigeria.
No, all of them have jackpot.
Yeah, as long as they can do that, they don't give two F's about the other people.
The biggest indictment is what Ade said earlier. Your deputy Senate president, a current serving senator, had to do that to come London. That's the biggest indictment on any government anywhere in the world. And we're not even worried. We're not quarreling about it. People actually came to pay him courtesy visit.
Yeah, people were which is a shame, really. But anyway, let's round up this topic. Sorry, Shade, were you saying something?
I'm just done, and then it's the way we've accepted that is the way of life in Nigeria.
No, I haven't accepted, and I'm sure you guys haven't accepted, but we can't change it. That's just the most.
So I'm talking about Nigeria. It's like they see it every day. I'm not talking about you. You're here. I'm talking about people living in Nigeria. It's like what Jude said. It's like another one might die tomorrow. You know, it's like everybody just get on with it. They just find who to blame, and then after that, they move on to the next topic.
I really wish there's a reset button that we can just reset. Reset everybody. We're talking about it, but it's actually very heartbreaking. Like, I even hate to discuss it because it's a
it is a shame.
It's great.
Like, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed to even.
It is. But anyway, on that note, we're gonna end it now. Thank you guys for being with us today and for watching this. And would like to send our condolences to Rico's family, his parents, his siblings, his cousins and uncles, and all the family members, his girlfriend, because apparently he had a girlfriend as well, and they hadn't sort of come out in the open. But unfortunately, given what has happened, you know, she's had to post pictures of the two of them. And I can imagine how painful that would be for her. You know, we would like to extend our sympathy to them, and we pray that Rico's soul would rest in peace. On that note, and everybody that has, you know, gone through this process, it's unfortunate as well. You know, our condolences are with their families, and we pray and we hope that the Nigerian government do something about the healthcare, the roads in Nigeria. And with this 2023 election coming in, I think people should vote in the right person. We don't know who the right person is, but people should try and vote in the right person. Don't vote because you'll be given 5,000 naira, because that 5,000 naira would finish. Don't even vote because you'll be given 1 million, because that 1 million will still finish. Okay, vote for someone that is going to help your future and the future of your children. Because all of us on this panel, before we came to the UK, we kind of were in Nigeria, and you knew about NEPA, right? And when you hear NEPA, you know that no light. NEPA equals no light. Look at us now, right? However old we are, and we still have that same problem. So it just goes to show, it's like, at what point do the problems in Nigeria, at what point do they get sorted out? Bad roads, bad healthcare, transportation, there's no education, all sorts of things. Let's not even talk about the education situation, because that's another topic on its own. But anyway, on that note, we're going to end it here. Vote wisely in the next coming election. Do not sell your votes for Ewa and bread.
Okay? Good luck with that.
Or whatever that is. And we'll see you again next week. Have a good day, guys. Bye.